So yeah, Max, thanks for being here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about AlphaProTuning.mx. I'd love for you to introduce yourself, tell me a bit more about you and your background and how you started this business.
Well, thank you, Benjamin, for having me. It's an honor. So I started this business basically to have some extra income in a niche market that I have found in the automotive performance sector in Mexico. Middle class, and the majority of the population is under 35 years old. And there's a lot more colleges sprouting up all over the country, and there's a lot more people that are educated, have decent jobs and disposable income. So that's a good thing for business and my target market. So that's why I started AlphaProTuning.mx, because I saw an opportunity abroad. I do think there's a lot of money to be made in the US as well, but it's a lot more saturated, and chasing after profits that are very, very small now because of all the competition is tough. So I took a risk and I started it in Mexico.
So I think one of the biggest things I'm interested in, and I'm sure a lot of people looking at this is the Mexico aspect of it. Like,
Right.
You're obviously based in the United States. You're not based in Mexico. So I'm
Right.
kind of curious, how does that work? Where does a new owner, could someone be based in Germany if they wanted to run this? Where do they need to be? How does this work?
Okay, so we're in San Diego, and we're pretty close to Mexico. And I used to live in Mexico for probably about 7 years before I got married and started a family and whatnot.
Okay.
But you can do it both ways. I've run this business from different places: on the beach, here in San Diego, in Los Angeles, in Mexico, anywhere where there's an internet connection. Basically, I can run the business. It really depends on the amount of profit you want to keep for yourself. There's like brokers, there's tons of brokers that will transport your product from their warehouse into Mexico and drop it off at FedEx or UPS or DHL or whatever, and then
Right.
you just fulfill the order and it's done. If you want to do it yourself, well, then you can save some money there by not paying the commissions on for like a broker, because there's tons of brokers. I've worked with many of them. They're really easy to find.
Yeah.
And basically it's like their own kind of like mini fulfillment center, if you will. So let's say I receive an order today for a product. The order gets checked out by Stripe. They evaluate the risk and whatnot. And then once I accept it, then I place the order with my vendor. The vendor will then charge my credit card, and he'll ship it out to wherever I want it to. And if I say I want to fulfill it myself, then he'll ship it to me, and then I'll fulfill it myself. If I say no, I want to just sit back and have it all fulfilled for me, well, it can ship directly to a broker or an agent that you can choose from. They'll receive it, and then they'll transport it into Mexico and drop it off at whatever shipping company that you choose.
Great. So it seems like really probably the only thing you need as far as Mexico is concerned is some sort of grasp of Spanish.
Yeah, definitely. Having Spanish will help you. But to be perfectly honest with you, when I started the website and I even started doing any type of business in Mexico, my Spanish was very limited. It was very limited, just basic words, literally. And Google Translate on my cell phone was just, that was it. I can laugh about it now, but I mean, believe it or not, that I created it with using that. And of course, over the years, my Spanish has gotten better, but that's how I started. So if I can do it, anybody can.
That's great. Technology has definitely made the world a smaller place, I suppose. So you mentioned, I guess this is, you're obviously not housing the inventory yourself. It's coming from a supplier. Can you tell me a bit more? I think you mentioned in the listing, it's coming from pretty legitimate suppliers in
Right.
North America.
Right. So I've done both. Um, I have housed my own inventory on like fast moving parts, um, and on the other like higher ticket items, it's basically kind of like drop shipping, I guess,
Right.
in a sense. You know, it would be like drop shipping. So they would just choose my website because of the reputation that it has, you know, and the social proof, you know, on Facebook and Instagram.
Of course. Well, that leads me to the next question. I'm always curious about is how are you generating traffic? Have you been doing social advertising, Google advertising, zero advertising? You know, is it all SEO? Like, what's going on? How are you driving people to your website?
Oh, okay. So we're using three different methods, I believe. Uh, I use Google shopping campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I use Facebook ads, and
Of
I
course.
use Instagram as well. I use those three to drive traffic. And,
Any
uh,
idea which has been working the best?
you know, I get asked that a lot. And I used to ask those questions in the beginning as well. And there's a couple ways, you know, you can look at it. Um, I feel that the Google ads, the shopping ads, will create more sales overall,
Mhm.
but the Facebook ads campaigns, the ads that I've created through Facebook, that helps with brand awareness, brand recognition, and also just being there when your customers are just thinking about it, you know, just being there when they're just considering it, and just kind of like, hey, I'm still here, you know, hey, we still got this offer for you, you know. It
Yeah.
might not be a quick of a transaction as maybe like a Google shopping campaign would create, because on Google you have a higher intent to purchase
Right.
on Google than you do on social media. But I've created quite a bit of traffic and customers with intent to buy from Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. No,
So
it's interesting. So they definitely work together. I mean, that's what I tend to see.
they definitely work together. And I tried to do just one before. I tried to do two, and I ended up just splitting it in half. And I do 50% Google shopping campaigns, and then I do 50% Facebook and Instagram
Gotcha.
as
Well,
well.
the next step is a Super Bowl commercial, I assume.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think the last question I'll ask for you today, anyone purchasing essentially any business on Flippa, they're looking for, you know, they're not necessarily looking to buy something and keep it as it is. They want to grow it. They want to turn it into something bigger and better. So, you know, what might you suggest to a new owner? What could they do to make this a bigger business than it already is?
Well, to be perfectly honest, what I would do is I would scale up on the digital advertising. Um, I've only had this website, you know, less than 3 years. The
Right.
first year was actually double of about double of what it is the last 12 months. The reason being, not because there's a lack of interest in the business or you know, the economy. Not even COVID-19. During COVID-19, since it began, our traffic is up like 39%. You know, a lot more people are shopping online. They're at home. You know, they have more time to engage media than they did before when they had so much going on. So people have more time to engage with it and to absorb content. So that in itself has helped. But involved in other businesses as well that have, you know, partners and investors as well. And this business, AlphaProTuning.mx, is all mine.
Great.
And I just kind of ran out of time. I have so many projects going on, and you know, a newborn, you know, he's taken up quite a bit of.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate that, Ben. And you know, it's taken up. He's taken up quite a bit of time. My daughter as well. You know, so it's like juggling a growing family and business partners and other investors. So it's like I only have so much time. In the last year, I really, to be totally honest, I haven't put the effort into AlphaProTuning.mx that it deserves.
Yeah.
And even then, so when I do have time just to run a campaign and watch it for, you know, 5 to 10 days, you know, traffic is skyrockets, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, that in itself, I feel that right now it's undervalued, not because, you know, the market is dried up or the products are not, you know, popular anymore. It's just, I just haven't had the time, you know, to put into it. And, you know, not to mention, I actually suffered a personal injury that's kind of slowed me down quite a bit. I got, it's, I don't know if I should be sharing this, but it's, have you heard of carpal tunnel syndrome?
Of course. Yes.
I've never had it before, and I have it, and
I'll
it's
slow you down on the keyboard, I assume.
totally, that's exactly it. And I didn't know what it was, and I kind of just ignored it, and I thought it would just go away, and the pins and needles. But you know, long story short, I have had to slow down also because of that. So that's the only reason why I'm selling the business, because
Yeah.
you know, if it's profitable, there's no reason to sell it. So you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's great for the Flippa marketplace and the opportunity, because I think
Yeah.
that this is, you know, we've been talking for a bit about your site, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad we have it. I think there's gonna be some people who are really excited for it. So, you know, I'll just thank you for sharing it with me and for everybody out there who's hopefully looking at this listing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.